People deluded. Now, not to harp on about this Xhaka crap, but let's nip it in the bud. I've nipped it in the bud already, but I thought we've got to do a specific role for this sort of. I personally feel he's got to be stripped of the captaincy purely because, listen, I get it, people. At the end of the day, Xhaka is first to defend. First, I'll defend Xhaka without, and then I'll say why he was wrong. I feel he's deserving. He reacted in the way he's not justified, but justified in reacting in that way, people. Purely because, end of the day, man are human. Man are human. He's got it from pundits, former Arsenal pundits, current, well, almost every. Obviously, the root of it is his poor performances, but he's got it from pundits. You got to remember, pundits are ex-players as well, ex-Arsenal players as well. They're always digging into him. He's seen his wife abused on social media when she was pregnant as well. He's been hounded out. Yesterday, there was sarcastic cheers for him to be subbed. Now, we know a lot of that, for me, you can't really say a lot of that based on the game, because Xhaka we were all poor. It weren't a fact where Xhaka was here, these lot were there, Xhaka was down there. We know there were sarcastic cheers. He took forever. He reacted. He bowled over. He's human. He's allowed to react. He's been treated like shit. You're gonna react like that, innit, people? He's doing all of this and all these things. Obviously, he's gonna react like that. So I feel he's human, innit? Fans can't be telling a man to F off and act shocked when you say F off, regardless of him apparently being captain or any of these other things. What's on the floor? And any of these other things, people. The man's human, and football fans are a bit delicate, man. They think they're royalty. Like, you can say whatever you want, but players can't. Like, man are human. Respect people, innit? Why he's wrong? For me, you let down your teammates. They're the ones training with you day in, day out, fighting to put this club back to where it's supposed to be. Also getting criticisms over their personal character, if they're good enough. All these personal comments that would hurt you as a professional athlete, they're getting it as well. So for me, when you're walking off, you're telling them you don't care about them because, yes, I don't think it's right, but you're almost putting your feelings above them. Forget about your feelings. F your feelings to a degree. Nip it in the bud. Deal with your beef after. Sort of move out elsewhere after. Don't let down your teammates because they're chasing the game. They've worked for this game like you. You're letting them down. So if I'm in training tomorrow, I'm asking you, walk on, because you're telling me you don't care. You're telling me you don't care. It's sad. I do feel for Xhaka's mental well-being, and potentially it will be good if he just leaves in January. Personally, we're at the point now where with Xhaka, where I don't blame Xhaka for these poor performances, and I do, obviously, if he's playing poor, he's playing poor, but it's Emery. Emery's backing him now. Emery's picked the hill of Xhaka to die on. I don't see what Xhaka offers this team. I don't see how you can say, you can come out and post in the game in the week before and say there's more or less not a system that suits Torreira, but there's a system for Xhaka. It don't make no sense. It don't make no sense, and that shows why we're here. Why we're here. But Emery's playing him. He hasn't deserved to play for a couple of weeks. He's been quite poor. I do think Xhaka gets scapegoated, clearly. Similar to Mustafi. Mustafi was poor, but there was games Mustafi ain't do nothing right, and they attacked them. We know with social media and people chasing clout and being hyper-sensationalized, or if that's even a word, or just being sensational and that, they get reactions. You know, if you make an Arsenal video and you say Xhaka, you're going to get thingies. We all know people like to vent their frustrations on certain individuals and whisper it about others, people. Xhaka isn't good enough, but there needs to be balance, people. So I feel he's burnt his bridges. I feel if Emery plays Xhaka, it says more about Xhaka than, Emery more than it says about Xhaka, because the fans are going to look to beat you with any stick now because the Wolves are out. If you're playing him, regardless of if he feels battered and bruised and his ego's taking a hit, and I know his family was at the game, if you play him now after how he's carried on, that says that you don't respect the club, you don't respect yourself, in my opinion. If he can continue like that, he needs to, as bad as it is, put your feelings to the side and try to help your team get the result. He's not cared about that. A captain has to be someone that, before you can captain a side, you need to be able to follow. He's shown he can't follow and put his own objectives to the side, or his own feelings for the greater good. We're chasing a game and you're walking off. I was at the game. It started off as sarcastic cheers. Obviously, he reacted to it, people. So that's where he's wrong. Obviously, I can't remember. Did he throw the captaincy down? Just the way he's behaving. That's not a captain. If Emery allows him to play, that says more about you, Emery, than it does about Xhaka. And the club, the fans will beat you with that stick. Added to that, if I'm the players, I'm wondering, Emery, that's how he's carrying on and you're playing him. What one? Like, I'm asking you a question. Seriously, are you the man for this? But at the same time, I'm not going to lie, I will say, I do think the players will have empathy with him, and they should do, because they've seen the crap Xhaka's taken. You're hearing, I know a security guard at the Emirates, people, and he told me, again, I'm not verifying this, but apparently Xhaka, as soon as he, you know, went down the tunnel, kept it moving, people. He kept it moving. Apparently he heard people through, I've seen reports on social media, people threw coins at his car. Apparently you're now seeing Arsenal players went to his house, which is good camaraderie. For whatever people say, this is a tight-knit bunch of players, people. And it is sad, man. It is sad. But I will say this to Xhaka. Xhaka, you have grown up in Switzerland, where you, as a family of immigrants or son of an immigrant, have dealt with undoubted, since you've been rising as an individual, let alone a footballer, undoubted criticism and negative sort of connotations in regards to your ethnicity. And no doubt similar adversity when you went to Germany and whatever. What is booze? When you go through that, what is booze? I know it hurts, but at the same time, what's booze? Your family has shown great determination to better their lives, and you've gone through a lot of stuff. And I actually feel you're captain material. You're just not good enough. I see why people would make you captain. What's booze? If you go through all of that, what's booze? If people have been getting at your ethnicity and things like that, you're a proud Switzerland of Albanian heritage. I know a lot of Albanians, and I know they're almost like Jamaicans to a degree. In that you know how Jamaicans and Albanians, they're funny. It's that Jamaicans, and I do it to a degree, they'll wear a wristband, they'll wear the Jamaica wristband, all this stuff, and they'll ask you why you're Jamaican. Albanians will have all the Albanian stuff, and like, how did you know I was Albanian? Like, very passionate people. So I know the booze ain't nothing to you. Of course, you're human. It's breaking point. I don't feel you deserved it. You were walking off the field as well. You can't be feeling sorry for yourselves. Just away from Xhaka not being good enough, I don't think he deserved that. It's sad. It's nice to see the boys went to his house allegedly and got around him and supported him and things like that. But he should never play for this club again, in my opinion. You're in Europa League now. Make a point. You're behind everybody in the pecking order. You should be paid a fine, stripped of the captaincy, because there's certain things you don't do. Whether I feel you was justified in reacting, what you did past that, nobody's hands are clean, people. Moving on from that, people, apparently Ornstein has said, there is now an acceptance that after a year and a half in the job, and with the benefit of significant backing in the transfer market last summer, there's not much more the club can do, and the onus is on Emery to deliver. And that was mentioned by Raul, is that we need to get Champions League. We miss out on 45 million if we don't get Champions League. The quicker this club moves away from its principles of attacking football and stuff, there's not going to be any attraction to sign for this club. And I say that lightly because obviously we're a Premier League team. We can still sign players. I don't want to say the Champions League isn't important, because it is. But in terms of purely signing players, it isn't the be all and end all. It's an extra it's an extra card in your hand if you're going in a bidding war. But you don't necessarily need to get Champions League year in, year out to sign top players. Do you get it, people? At least in the Premier League. The more we go away from this Arsenal, which people could identify with, on top of not winning Champions League, what is there going to be to identify with this club to sign for us, people? We're moving away from our principles, and it's getting worse and worse every day, people. Emery has to deliver significant backing, allowed to keep members of the side he wanted, allowed to marginalise certain members of the side. This is his, people. Apparently, he's also said there was a desire within the section of Arsenal's top brass to reward Emery with a new deal last summer, but this was not a universal wish, and the majority verdict held sway. So this shows you already divided at the top. Clearly, some people like Emery because he is to a degree a yes man. That's why he took this job, on top of, let's be honest, on top of it being Arsenal and the Premier League and stuff. He's a yes man because, like you've seen last season and not so much this season, but there's things to hide behind. It's not his side. It's not his squad. Now people are asking question marks of his coaching and things, but nobody was really doing that. There's no real scrutiny, people. There's things to hide behind. You go from PSG, where the food you pick is scrutinised, to now, nobody does that. So I think he relished that where the handbrake is off to a degree, people. Clearly, he's a yes man. He took this role as a head coach. Whatever players he's given, he'll work with. If he suggests his players and he doesn't get any, then fair enough. He's a yes man in several degrees because, that's why he got this. Again, the Athletic said we was never in for Enrique, but you heard a lot of targets we was looking at last summer. They had concerns over the transfer budget. Emery relished that. Do you get it? Clearly, some people are happy with Emery because he clearly ticks the model of the management. Some people are not convinced with his tactics and his coaching and things like that. And if you're hearing that at boardroom level, people at the top, and it brings me on to this point. Apparently, he's lost parts of the dressing room due to a lack of identity and absence of clarity and instructions. If you're losing the dressing room and you're losing the hierarchy, you're looking like your days are numbered, people, really and truly. Because subconsciously, I'm not going to say the players won't try, but these things start to play a part, people. And we've heard the players have been leaving confused with this information. Does he put in too little information? Does he try to give them too much? So ultimately it doesn't happen. We did hear he does 2-hour video sessions and things. We need to remember footballers have short attention spans. Could you potentially just hit the key points? Could you translate yourself better? That's probably why Lundberg was brought in, because you're hearing the young players have issues understanding Emery. Whether that's language or just what he wants to do is a different thing, people. Apparently Josh and Emery met in the office last night. Emery's position is safe. He's still got the support from the hierarchy. He could be given to the end of the season. We've got Liverpool on Wednesday, so we've got to put in a decent performance, people. It is what it is, people. What a day, people, man. Since the start of last season, Arsenal have conceded the most joint penalties in the Premier League, which is 11. That's the 4th one we've had this season, which is the most in our the most in the division. Obviously, the last 2 Premier League games, from a possible 6, we've only taken a point, dropping 5. Arsenal have let a 2-goal lead slip twice in the Premier League this season, more than in any of the previous 6 campaigns combined, which was 1. Obviously, with winless away from Watford, with, again, I feel Emery's substitutions, and for different reasons, obviously us not beating Crystal Palace. So it's a bit of a joke. Zaha's won the most penalties in the Premier League history, along with Jamie Vardy and Raheem Sterling, which is 16. Of the last 31 penalties, we have conceded 30 goals, people, which shows that we already know we cannot save penalties. Well, it is what it is. I guess we should finally end this on Emery's post-match comments. Let's actually see what he's had to say, people. If it ever loads. Here we go. In relation to the Xhaka incident, he said, he was wrong. Now we need to stay calm and speak with him, to speak inside about the reaction. His reaction was wrong in that moment. We are working, me and the club, inside with every player to manage playing under pressure. We need to be clever in our minds and create habits under pressure for our minds to be clearer. We can play with our hearts and can be hot in difficult moments, but our minds must be clever. We are going to speak about that, of course, because the reaction was wrong. We will speak with the players and the club about this reaction. He was asked if he feels sorry for Emery. We are here because we have supporters. We are the workers inside, but we play for them. We need to have a lot of respect from them through applause and criticism. And he's spoken about the manager in relation to should he remain as the captain. It's not the moment to speak about that. First, I want to speak with him and the club, and we want to stay calm before we speak about that. He was not right to do that. He's also said, I've had a lot of situations that are similar. It's the same that he's wrong. We need the supporters, and when they criticise us, we need to stand up. When they applaud us, we need to stay calm, because they are our supporters, and they are the reason for our work. You are the same. We want to give them our opinion and your opinion, because we have a lot of followers here and in the world. We need our players to stay calm in all moments, when we're applauded and when we're criticised. He was also asked about if the connection with the fans is in trouble. This evening, after each moment, the connection was amazing. This evening, after each moment, the connection with the team was amazing. After 2-2, the last 20 minutes, the supporters were amazing at getting behind the players and pushing for a victory. The connection this evening was very good. There's one small individual circumstance, but overall they support us, people, which is true. But for me, it's disappointing because we didn't create anything away from set pieces, taking advantage of 2 poor set pieces from Crystal Palace. We're not taking advantage of any real creating any real attacking situations, and the statistics are damning. First time prior to this, 6 previous years we didn't do it. We've failed to win games where we've been 2-0 up. We're conceding record shots. We're shooting at record lows. There's still no identity overall within this side. all of this lies with Emery. The players have to take blame, but Emery's been here 15 months and we don't look an inch better in anything. We was all quick to bring up, remember when we was 22 games unbeaten, everyone was rolling off the stats, how we're better than under Arsene Wenger, how we're fighting, how we've got our Arsenal back, this and that. Keep the same energy. This is what I was telling you, have balance, people. Because these same signs that are here this season were here all last season. Go and look at, I always mention in all my vids Cardiff away, because that's when the penny dropped for me, and Fulham away, people. But it is what it is, man. There's not much more to add, man. I'm going to keep it moving, get the hell out of here, man. People, DG, man, thank you for watching.